Okay, the Murli essence, sweet children, you're transforming this old world and making it new with your
Removing your boxes.
Yoga.
with the power of yoga. Sweet children, you're transforming this old world, making it new with your power of yoga. And with that yoga, you have the strength to surrender your body, mind, wealth, and do all the things, become pure. So it's the power of yoga that's making everything happen. You were born to do spiritual service. If you were Brahmin in your last cycle, you were dating your last birth, then you were born to do spiritual service, and nobody can stop that. Question: what are the signs of true and honest effort making children? What are the signs of the true and honest effort making children? 2 points Baba is mentioning. Number one, honest children never, that's the first step from, even you can say from this class, honest children never
Hide anything from the father?
hide their mistakes from themselves or from Baba. They instantly tell Baba. They are very egoless. You have to be very humble to be able to admit your mistake and tell Baba honestly. Their intellects are constantly aware that whatever actions others see them perform, they will do the same. Number two, they never spread news of the disservice done by anyone. Okay? So if somebody did some disservice, okay, you're going to tell another person, then another person, and what is that going to do? That's going to diminish that person more. It's going to give that energy of disservice to that person even more. And also you're spreading that news and causing that vision for that person to be also diminished. And of course, also from a class, you're saying there's difference between spreading news, gossiping, which Baba is saying gossiping versus reporting, right? Reporting is when you see somebody do wrong action against Baba Srimad, then you report to an authority that is in the power and authority to do something about that. They have a rapport with that person, relationship with that person, that they can correct, rectify their mistake. If not, then would fall under gossip, because then all you're doing is spreading news and nobody can do anything about it. Nobody has control over it. It just goes from one person to another person to another person, right? As it becomes a waste. So they never spread news about the disservice done by anyone. They remain busy doing their own service. It's not up to them to do something about it, to correct it. You give it to Baba, you give it to the higher up who's in charge of that person. If you trust that person, obviously, and trust that relationship between that authority figure and that particular individual. They never spoil their heads by seeing anyone's defects, which is another thing. We are so trained to see other people's defects in very fine tooth comb. We can spot other people's defects, and we don't actually see our own in that same way. Song: have patience, O mind, your days of happiness are about to come. Om Shanti. The spiritual father gives patience to the sweetest spiritual children. Just as a physical father gives patience, when someone is ill, he is reassured and told, your days of the suffering of your illness will change and days of happiness will come. So this copper and iron age is one big hospital. We are all patients in this diseased world. So our spiritual father comes and says, just a few more days, you'll come out of it. Right? So it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. Right? Of course, you've got to work on yourself. Right? You have to obey the surgeon, doctors, orders. And when you do that, your recovery will be faster and less painless. So few more days and your days of happiness will come. A limited father gives you limited patience. That one is the unlimited father who gives you children unlimited patience. How does he give us unlimited patience?
He never takes sorrow. He never judges us. He's always giving us love and forgiveness. He's always treating us with so much love and care. He never gets angry with us, regardless of what we do.
And he's also giving us this knowledge that then helps us become patient, because now we understand the whole drama, the cycle, and we know what's going to happen at the end, what we need to do. And he's giving us all the strength, he's giving us all the power, his blessings, all that gives us patience, right? Because we know without his help we cannot overcome this. So he's with us for the 100 years of conference age, sustaining us, nurturing us, and showing us through his own teachings how to be patient, how to be tolerant, how to be accepting. Children, your days of happiness are now coming. Only a few more days now remain. Now stay in remembrance of the Father and also teach others. You are Shiv Shaktis. The Shakti army of Shiv Baba is being created once again. These brothers, gopis, are also souls. They all take power from Shiva. You also take power. The Father has explained. There is no question of blessings or mercy in this. Stay in remembrance and continue to take power. Only by having remembrance will your sins be absolved. You will also continue to become powerful. The Shakti army of Shiva was so powerful that Shiv Shakti means the power of Shiva, which is all Baba's children, number-wise, obviously. But because the majority were sisters, that's why it's called Shiv Shakti army, but brothers are also included in that. So the Shakti army of Shiva was so powerful that
It
what did
defeated
it
all
do?
the devils.
That it changed the old world and made it new. You know that you're changing this old world with the power of yoga. People signal upwards with their finger and say, remember Allah, God. You children understand that these mountains of stones, that is, the world, will be changed by you having remembrance of the Father. We are now establishing the land of angels. The Father explains to you, children, do a lot of service at exhibitions. Make effort. Sit and study whenever you have time. It is very easy. You children continue to receive teachings of every type. There is an account of each one's actions. The actions of Kumaris are good. Those who are married say, if I were a Kumari at this time, I would be a free bird and free from all of these chains. Kumaris are free birds. They don't have responsibility. They don't have family to look after. They can dedicate their time, energy to Baba's service. But not necessarily, but that is generally that is the case. However, when they keep bad company, damage is caused. A married woman has so many chains of her husband and children, etc. There were so many bondages of systems and customs. Kumaris don't have any bondages, etc. In Bombay, Kumaris are now becoming ready. They say we will take care of our state. Everyone makes so much effort for their own state. Meaning their own part where they're living, their what we call in province, their state. They say, our Gujarat, our UP. You're now claiming your own self-sovereignty. Do not let there be any consciousness of, I am so and so from such and such a state. So obviously there's a big, attachment, identification to the state that you belong to. Because in India, each state is kind of like its own country. They have their own food and clothing, they have their own style, their own language, their own dialect, and they are very attached to that. So you mustn't be jealous of anyone. Don't spoil your head when you see someone's defects. Look at yourself and see to how many souls, brothers and sisters, you have shown the path to happiness. If you haven't shown the path to anyone, you are
Defective.
you are of no use. You're useless, and you cannot climb into Baba's heart. If you don't climb into Bab Dada's heart, you cannot be seated on the throne in the future. Baba knows that some children have a lot of interest in doing service. They don't have the slightest arrogance of their bodies. So obviously, bodies is a big barrier in how much service someone does.
How can you be
Once-
enrolled in deity school and not want to give everyone Baba's introduction? Your deities are givers. They bring benefit.
So body, how does body become a barrier? On all the facilities, all the comfort. Baba says you have to tolerate heat or cold, insult, defamation, praise. You have to be beyond all of that. Others are very arrogant. They think that they are doing the Father a favor and not themselves. Never look at anyone's defects. So and so is like this, and he does this and that. Nowadays, there are some such clever children who spread news of the disservice done by others.
Gossip.
So and so is doing this, and he's like this. Just carry on with doing your own service. Just mind your own business. The duty of you Brahmin children is to keep yourselves busy in doing service. So if you have time to look at others' defects and never mind telling others about it, gossiping, you have a lot of time on your hand. The duty of you Brahmin children is to keep yourselves busy in doing service. The Father is sitting here and he receives all the news. The Father knows each one's stage. On seeing their service, he also praises them. You children should be enthusiastic about doing service. Each of you has to benefit yourself by doing this spiritual service. None of us would be born today and be with Baba if somebody before us didn't do the service or serving us. How you came into course, right? Somebody had to serve you. You have been doing that business, etc., for birth after birth. Hardly any businessmen do this business. The Father explains a very easy way of you to do service. Never defame anyone. Many do this. Maya even catches hold of good Maharatis by their nose. Good, Maharatis are the great warriors, those who ride the elephants. If you don't remember Baba, Maya catches hold of you. The Father says, because they see that I come in an ordinary body, they are unable to recognize me. Some even give advice to Baba. Baba, you should do this and that. Their stage is such that when Baba tells them a small thing, they
Wilt.
And further than that,
Cry.
and after
Run
all the
away.
crying and sulking and wilting,
Run away. Sulk.
they become traitors. They run away and they spread false news about Baba. That's real being a traitor. They give their own dictates to Baba. It is said that when a mouse found a piece of turmeric, he thought that he was a big grocer. They don't understand that they are doing disservice. Many continue to make mistakes. Sometimes their stage is elevated and sometimes low. This has continued all the time. Nothing new has been happening from the beginning of the yajna. Each of you has to check your own stage. Honest children instantly tell Baba about their stage. Some hide their mistakes.
It takes time to become soul conscious, but it takes time just to be respectful. It's not even full soul consciousness because you're so used to living in that world that doesn't respect anything or anyone. Right. And so then you have to deal with the reality and use the knowledge that you've already received. You have karmic accounts. with people in Raj Yoga and with people outside Raj Yoga. How do you know? Because you have like and dislike, whether you like or whether you dislike. Whoever you're doing that with, there's attachment there somewhere. And there isn't soul conscious spiritual connection to God or seeing each other as souls. You're not behaving as souls. So you're obviously not soul conscious. And that's what's creating the karmic account.
You have to be very egoless about this. Engage yourself in increasing service. Constantly remain aware. What did Baba say in the beginning? Whatever actions I perform, whatever actions others see me perform, they will do the same. However I act, what I do, others will copy me. Others will follow. If I defame someone, others will also begin to do that. Many don't even think about this. The Father explains, engage yourself in doing your own service. You serve yourself. Otherwise, you will repent a great deal. Some even become enemies. You have now been transferred from Shudras and have become Brahmins, the mouth-born creation of Brahma. Those who have the 5 vices are said to be part of the devilish community. You belong to the deity community. You are conquering the vices in order to become deities. Deities do not exist here. Deities exist in the Golden Age. You're now becoming part of the deity community. You children have now been given a chance to explain to others. Continue to explain at the exhibitions. At the exhibitions and gatherings, you can feel everyone's pulse. You can't explain to anyone when you use projectors. People are only able to understand when you explain to them personally, face to face.
That was a big phase of service. They were using slide projectors in those days. Now it would be like videos, right? Now it's AI videos. But in those days, simple projectors. Why you can't explain? You can't see their faces. The lights are out, and you're not looking at them in the eyes generally. So you can't create an experience for somebody.
The best form of teaching is personally face to face in class. So you can see the student, you can feel, how if they're understanding or not. You can see that from their face expression, body language, questions they ask. So now we are phase in COVID time. During COVID changed no internet and Zoom. So that was a big shift. So that's not the same as being personally and face to face. Then even if in Zoom, face to face will imply that your video should be on, camera should be turned on all the time.
Which makes absolutely no sense. I want you to know I'm present, but I don't want you to see my dharnas are poor. But you're the teacher, right? You're being hypocritical. It's just not. How can you love Baba and then have that as an attitude? Would you sit in if Brahma Baba was reading Murli? I mean, there wasn't internet in those days. Would you say, "Oh, Baba, I'm going to wear a bag over my head so that you can't, so you can't see my face and know what I'm feeling"? Then don't come to class. You make some efforts, right? you, you, why do you like and dislike souls in Brahmin life, in the Brahmin family, or outside the Brahmin family? We talk about like and dislike. Why do you do that?
Your own sanskars and also the desire for
definitely a mirror of your own sanskars. Why? Because that Brahmin either brings out the best in you or brings out the worst in you. And because of that, you like or you dislike. But you're not here to like or dislike. You're here to learn how to love. And that's the problem. So he's telling you today, what's the cause? You're seeing defects. You're judging all the things you were told in the course to stop doing, but you still do them. And even everyday Murli, right? Even everyday Murli. You're only studying 4 days out of 7. So only 50% of your life is meant for study and transformation. Those are the things you're saying to God. It's not to me. I already know those things, but this is your record you're creating between you and God. So you're being penny wise, pound foolish for whatever reasons you're thinking, if you understand and recognize what Baba's saying, then you should follow what he says to do. He tells me what I have to do. He tells me what standard I have to uphold. And then, but everybody gets mad at me if I tell them, but no, it's God you got a problem with. These are his words, his directions.
Okay, so Baba says people are not only able to understand when you explain to them personally, face to face. So it's not possible to have spiritual studies or continue if you're not face to face with the teacher. How can you learn anything in spirituality if you are remote? It's not possible. So you should have an interest in having exhibitions and gatherings. When you study regularly, your intoxication will rise. If you're in bondage, continue to remember the Father while staying at home, and your sins will be absolved. It is good to remember Baba even while at home. However, it has become a very difficult thing for children to remember Baba. You don't remember the father from whom you received the inheritance for 21 births. Even the Maharatis who give very good lectures, neither remember the father nor wake up early in the morning. Even if they do wake up, when they sit to remember Baba, they
Nod off.
doze off. So Baba is revealing even Maharatis what they struggle with. The early morning time is very good for having remembrance. People on the path of devotion also wake up early in the morning and busy themselves in having remembrance. However, theirs is the stage of descending. Here it is a matter of climbing up. Maya causes so many obstacles. If you do not wake up early in the morning and remember the Father, how would you be able to imbibe this knowledge, and how would your sins be absolved? However, as for conducting the Murli, even small children can learn and begin to explain it. This study is for adults. It is such a big university. Some children do not have the intoxication of who it is that is teaching them. When Maya deceives someone, don't look at that one, but continue to do your service. The Father continues to receive all the news. Some become body conscious and think, this one is doing this and this one is doing that. They waste their time in defaming others. Your duty is to remain busy in doing service. That is the main message Baba's delivering today. Don't waste your time seeing the defects of others or somebody in Maya.
Or your own defects.
Whenever something happens, just give a signal to the Father. That's all.
So when you're on the field of service trying to benefit someone, you will not let your vices come up and affect the service. You'll be aware and you say, oh no. Even if the thought gets pulled, you'll obviously prove to yourself you have the ability to control your thoughts. Right? So therefore you don't want to disserve anybody. You want them to benefit. So you control your Maya. But then as soon as they're gone, your Maya comes. Why? Because you can't control it? No. You just proved you could control it. You just stop wanting to after they leave. Right? So the desire to serve has to be longer than even the physical talking to somebody. That your life is for service. 24/7, your life is for service. Don't want to grossly disrespect Baba. He gave you a chance to do service, and you're disserving a soul because you won't control your Maya. Well, yeah. But either way, it's still wanting respect from the service. It's not just from the soul. It's from Baba. It's from the Brahmin family watching you. So many things.
Don't think about others. Your children should remain busy in doing service day and night.
And there's a caveat to that. Don't think about others for selfish motives. Obviously, you have to think about others if you're trying to serve them. Feel the pulse, you're thinking about others. So you have to understand the context, right? To bring benefit, think about others without wanting anything back, right? To think about others' defects, think about others for selfish reasons because you want something from them. No, stop thinking about others.
This is your business. Explain it at the exhibitions every day. This is Shiv Baba and this is Prajapita Brahma. Prajapita Brahma has also been remembered from the previous cycle. The human world is created through Prajapita Brahma. It isn't that human beings don't exist at all. God creates the human world, that is, He changes thorns into flowers. He creates the world through Brahma. But He does not do that from up above, doesn't do it through inspiration. Brahma has to exist here. It is explained to you so clearly. The Father says, I entered this one at the end of the last of his many births and change human beings into deities. So you children have to work hard, doing service day and night. Take some time off from your business and engage yourself in doing this service. Take time off work and do godly service. Don't say that you don't have time. If you were to fall ill, would you say that you don't have time? You have to make effort. Nothing can be done through inspiration. Even God can't do anything through inspiration. So how could others do so? They believe that there's nothing God cannot do, that He can even
Bring the dead to life.
bring the dead back to life.
So this one soul asked, why don't you come? Why didn't you make effort to come? Come to Murli. You finished the course. You understood. And very honestly, but dishonestly, she said, because I don't want to give up my vices. So they think they're being honest, but they don't understand the ego of that. So what he said was, when you're sick, you wish you had made the effort to follow the directions.
Mhm.
So when your karma returns for your vices, and vices can only give sorrow, they have to hurt you, they have to hurt your children, they have to hurt your entire family. Because they hurt you and they're attached to you. That's the selfishness of vices. So right now she's saying, yeah, I'm having my vices and I get my cake and eat it too because I get to keep my attachments to my kids. Well, when your vices start hurting your kids, it's too late, but will you stop at least? Now you see the selfishness of your vices, of body consciousness, of attachment. You're going to hurt the people you care about and you don't care. And you can understand why this is true. Vices hurt everybody else and they hurt you because they're selfish. That's the nature of karma. You perform is selfish. So they have to cause loss. They have to cause devaluation, diminishment, all disrespect, all kinds of loss. And eventually that builds up and causes a big issue in your life. And then you cry. And that's when you remember Baba. But Baba came to you so early and gave you a chance and you didn't have enough respect to appreciate and understand. You just said, well, I want my temporary addiction medication of my vices. So therefore you have to suffer. And not because, oh, it's not fair, it's because you didn't want to change, right? So then what else you have left but to have karma, drama as your teacher?
Oh, but you say to God, oh, purifier, come and make us pure from impure. You don't say anything else. You don't say, come and bring the dead back to life. He's the purifier. Bharat was pure. The Father says, I come every cycle and purify you. Maya then comes and makes you impure. I have now come to purify you once again. I tell you such easy things. Herbalists cure very severe illnesses with herbs, and then they are praised. When someone has a child or receives wealth, he would say that he was blessed by his guru. Okay, when the child dies, he would say, that is destiny. You children now understand all of these things. Sannyasis become pure and they are respected. They are hatha yogis, they cannot teach Raja Yoga. Those are sannyasis and people are householders. So how can we say that we are their followers? The father says, children, you have to follow fully. Man manabhav. Remember me and you will become pure and go back home with me.
So basically, he's saying, whoever you choose to follow in life, could be your husband, he's your guru, could be teachers, could be philosophers, could be religious leaders. The aim for all the followers, which they forget, is to become equal to the one you're following. So that's already dishonest from the beginning, because nobody wants to be equal to their guru, to their teacher, to their parents, to whoever, right? But that is the problem. You don't have that aim to do that. You just want to follow.
Mm.
It's actually dishonest to just follow.
Mm.
That's why Baba says, I come to teach you Raj Yoga, not Praja Yoga.
Mm.
Right? Because you're not doing your best to become your best. That's dishonest. The attitude is dishonest. And then eventually that spreads into the karma, and it makes the karmas dishonest.
Human beings make you impure, and the Father comes and purifies you. He is the ocean of purity, peace, and happiness. He is also making you the same. You souls purify yourselves with
The power of yoga.
power of yoga. You know that you will receive first-class bodies. Humans have to be changed into deities in a practical way. It isn't that you just have to wear deity clothes. You also have to pay full attention to yourselves. Just putting on a new royal clothing with crown doesn't make you a deity.
Dress up.
Let there not be any body consciousness. Baba, I will definitely claim my inheritance from you. You also say we will definitely make Bharat elevated. Only those who have faith say this. Some ask, how can all this be done in such a short time? In fact, you must never have any of these doubts. Whenever you have doubts, you become slack in doing your service. It means there's not enough conviction of faith. When there's faith lacking, obviously the quality of service reduces.
You give up sooner and more often.
Very little time remains. Make as much effort as possible. Just see, when there is even a little upheaval through war, etc., everyone will then start to make effort. You understand that if you don't stay in full remembrance, you will have to struggle and will not be able to have remembrance. At that time, there will be many calamities, and this is why the Father says, continue to gallop as much as possible. There is a race of souls.
So the only
Father?
reason you use guilt about doing service wrong, or anything in life, guilt, is because you create a reason so you don't have to feel you should do it. When you feel guilty, you don't perform as well. You don't want to do it anymore. So guilt isn't because over what you did wrong. Ego manifests a situation that you do a mistake in, so you can feel guilty. Baba says, okay, past is past. Okay, move on. No, I'm going to sit and feel guilty so that I do even less now than I was going to do before. So your real motive has to be you're only feeling guilty so that you
Make less effort.